Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take your sources, look through them, and pull out the key insights for you. Today, we're tackling a really big one involving power, policy, independence. It's this. Can the president actually fire the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell? We've gone through the statements, the legal takes, the public comments you sent over to try and get to the heart of it for you.
And it's a critical question. The Fed chair's job is just so vital for economic stability, not just here, but globally. So any hint of uncertainty about their job security, well, it sends ripples, affects markets, confidence, everything.
Okay, right. So let's try and unpack this. We should probably start with some of those initial public statements, the ones that kind of set the scene. I'm thinking of Kevin Hassett, National Economic Council director at the time. He said the president's power to fire Powell was looked into. And he added that key bit. If there's cause, he does, which immediately makes you ask, okay, what is cause here?
Exactly. And what's interesting is the sources you provided, they actually give us a couple of different potential angles on cause. The first one was maybe less expected. It was about criticisms over the Fed headquarters renovations.
Yeah, the OED director, Russell Vought, sent Powell a letter, said President Trump was, quote, extremely troubled by your mismanagement of the Federal Reserve System. And Hassett actually connected that, answering Vaught's questions about the renovations to potential actions by the president, suggesting that could be a basis.
Okay. Interesting. But then there's the more public fight, the one most people probably remember, which was clearly about monetary policy disagreements.
Right.
President Trump was constantly, very publicly criticizing Powell for not cutting interest rates fast enough or low enough. Called him very stupid, I think. And too late, Powell. Really direct attacks. And Powell's counterpoint, according to the sources, was basically, hold on, we held off cutting rates because of the administration's tariffs. He argued those tariffs were actually leading to forecasts of higher inflation. So you see these totally different economic strategies clashing.
Which leads to another really fascinating part of this.
Yeah.
The president's own statements about Powell staying or going, they seemed, well, contradictory.
Very much so.
Your sources point out late last year, President Trump said he didn't plan to cut Powell's term short. And that term runs until May 2026, by the way. But then, fast forward to an April Truth Social post, and he's saying Powell's termination cannot come fast enough. Total opposite.
Right. And then, just days after that post, he tells reporters he had no intention of firing him.
It really shows this shifting landscape in the public comments, almost like thinking out loud, maybe? It's left everyone guessing. Okay, so that's the political back and forth. But then there's the legal side, and this is where it gets really interesting, maybe the most defining part. Especially with that Supreme Court decision that came out, the one about firing heads of independent agencies. What did the sources say there?
Okay, this is crucial. Yes, the Supreme Court did rule in May that presidents can generally fire members of independent federal agencies more easily, but the court specifically indicated that the decision did not necessarily apply to the Federal Reserve. And the reason? Because the Fed is, and this is the key phrase, a uniquely structured quasi-private entity.
Quasi-private?
Yeah.
Part public, part private.
Exactly. It's not like other federal agencies. That structure is designed historically to give it this layer of independence, especially for monetary policy, to shield it from, well, short-term political pressures. So that Supreme Court decision, while important, didn't necessarily give a green light regarding the Fed chair. It actually highlighted the Fed's unique status. And the sources also noted, remember, that neither the White House nor the Fed's Board of Governors commented right away on Hassett's initial remarks about looking into firing Powell. That just added to the uncertainty.
Right, so it wasn't a clear legal yes or no.
Not at all. It underscored just how complex and, frankly, untested the specific situation is. So when you pull it all together from the sources, you've got this tangle of executive power questions, very public policy disagreements, and this really specific, unique legal status of the Fed.
That's a great summary, really nails the complexity we found. And it leaves us, and you, with a pretty big question to think about. Given that the Fed is so uniquely structured and plays such a central role in the economy, how does even the perception of whether a president can fire the chair, how does that affect stability? Market confidence. Something definitely worth pondering.